So last time, we were started, I think you were not there last time and you were also not there. Okay, so we have, just to as summarizing and then we are moving forward from where we left last time, but I'm just going to give you a little summary. Okay, so what we did was we were doing capital budgeting. You know, capital budgeting is basically, whenever you're starting a new project, so you want to know whether you should go for it or not, whether it is worthwhile or not, whether it is, profitable or not. So that's the process of called capital budgeting. Okay, so I'll just skip the initial slides and go to, the mechanisms. Basically, these are the various methods which we used basically to appraise the projects. To find out which projects are good, okay, which are feasible, which should be implemented, and which should not be. The first method is called the payback period, which is a very simple method, which in many organizations they were doing in this method. Like, so for example, you have to spend say 1 crore rupees in a new equipment or machine, and it is going to generate say 50 lakh rupees per annum. Okay. So for 5 years, but within 2 years it is paying back all the money which you had invested. So payback period will be 2 years. Okay, fine. A project which is going to cost you 1 crore, but it is going to generate a cash every year, say 25 lakh rupees, for example. Okay, for next 10 years. So what will be the payback period? 4 years. Okay, so this is called the payback period. Now, of course, we are just adding up all the cash flows which the or the return which the project is generating. So there is another mechanism that we discount the cash flows. Okay, calculate the time. I mean, apply the time value. Okay, discount those cash flows and then add them up. Fine. So in my example, suppose you are getting 25 lakhs for say 10 years. So it would be maybe in the fifth year, even after discounting your cash flows, the payback will be in 5 years. If you, apply the time value concept, because 25 lakh rupees received every year. So for 4 years, if you get 100 lakhs, which is equivalent to the money, it will not be sufficient to what you have spent today, 1 crore. So that means in the fifth year, maybe 1 crore 25 lakhs will be equivalent to 1 crore. So we discount at an appropriate rate. So that's called the discounted payback period method. Then we have the NPV method. Have you ever done these methods? No. So you have done it? So net present value. Yeah. You're asking a question or explaining me? आप मुझे बता रहे हो या क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हो कोई? हाँ वो सही है, जो भी आप बोल रहे हो सब सही है, डोंट वरी अबाउट इट. Fine, we have already done it, and we will be doing another question today where you will be whatever you are saying, you can apply that on the question we'll be doing. And if you don't follow, please ask me again. Okay? Sorry, I mean I was not able to make out what you are saying. So this thing, so you will revisit the payback period, and then I'll ask you to pose the question after we have done that question. Okay? Fine. And the second mechanism is the net present value. आया कोई? बस बैठा हूँ. I come all the so we're talking about all these methods. Payback period method I've discussed a little bit. Then the net present value. Just I'm summarizing what we did. Okay, so the net present value. Okay, in net present value, what we do is basically we for example there is a project. It's going to cost you something. Okay, suppose it's going to cost you say 5 crores. Now you are going to generate some returns out of it over the period. Okay, so assuming that there is a life of a project, when you buy a machine or equipment to start something, everything has a life. Okay, suppose the life of the machine is say 10 years. So what is the process is that you calculate how much cash you are going to generate. So today, we are going to understand how those cash flows are worked out. So today the topic would be apart from this mechanism, so that we understood the concept. Today we are going to find out how the cash flows, inflows and outflows are determined for your project. So that is what we are going to do today. But before we proceed for that, so I'm just summarizing. So net present value. Here we know how much we are going to spend initially for the project. Suppose it's going to be say 10 crores, and you're going to get, for example, 1 crore for next 2 crores for next 10 years. So how much you got? 20 crores. You spent 10 crores, you got 20 crores in the next 10 years. Okay. Now what you are going to do is you are going to discount those cash flows which you are going to get in the next 10 years at the rate of cost of capital. Okay. So at the rate of cost of capital, इनको बता देना कहानी है. So in net present value, we discount all the cash flows which you are going to get over the life of the project. Okay, we discount at the cost of capital. That means the rate at which we have got the the money we have using, or the cost of capital of the company. So we discount that. Okay, we talk about the cost of capital more in detail later on. So if after discounting whatever money you have got, if it is more than the initial cost, so that means it is generated a net present value. So if it is a positive number, we say we should go ahead. Suppose in 10 years you're going to get say 20 crores and you discount that at say 10% and it comes to 15 crores, then the net present value will be 5 crores because the cost was 10 crores and your discounted value of all the cash flows is 15 crores, so you got 5 crores more, so which gives you a green signal that you should go ahead and do it. Okay. Now, okay, now what I'll do is I'll start the example which you will be able to understand more clearly instead of just explaining them on this thing, because all of you are present, but I think some of you are not there. So let's do a question so that you understand. Okay. So open your Excel sheet. So this is, a question which covers, all, which covers the payback period, discounted cash flow mechanism, as well as the net present value, as well as the IRR or MIRR. So there are various 5 methods which we have explained. Of course, there are 1 or 2 more, but we have covered the 5 most important ones. Okay. So as we do this question, you will be able to understand. Okay. Fine. So this question says that your company is considering 2 projects. Okay. Project A and Project B, each of which requires an initial outlay of rupees 60 million. Okay, 60 million would be 6 crore rupees. Okay, fine. Anyway, we should say 60 million. And then in the year 1, 2, 3, and 4, this is the life of the project. After that, this equipment which you have, this project cost which you have spent will be finished. That means the project life is say 4 years. And in the 4 years, both the projects are giving cash inflows. 15 million in the first year, 20 million, 35 million, and 43 million. And project B is going to give you 40 million, 24 million, 19 million, and 15 million. Okay, fine. So this is what you're going to get after you have, launched a project which is going to cost you 60 million for both these projects. 60 million is the cost, and this is what you're going to get: cash flow, cash generated by the project. So we don't take the profit, but we take the cash. Okay. Remember that it is not the profit, but it is the cash which we count, because cash can be discounted, not the profit, because profit is an accrual concept. So we'll understand that while we understand the cash flows, how they are determined. So you'll soon come to know why we talk about cash and not talk about the return or the profit generated by this project. What is the payback period of each project? So this is the first part of it. Second is, what is the discounted payback period for each project if the cost of capital is 12%? Okay. Now the only thing is the cost of capital. Fine. So which I'm going to explain what does the cost of capital means. It is that means this is just for simple reason. You think that you're going to all this money, 60 lakhs which you're going to spend, you're going to take a kind of a loan, or you're going to issue some equity. So it is going to cost you 12%. Okay. This is the cost of funding the project. Okay. Fine. So what is the discounted payback period for each project if the cost of capital is 12%? So first is the payback period without applying the time value, without discounting the cash flows. The second is discounted cash flow technique by discounting all the cash flows at the rate of 12%. Second, if the 2 projects are independent and the cost of capital is 12%, which project the firm should invest in? Now, the projects, if they are independent, that means you can take both of the projects. But if you have, short of resources, suppose you have only 60 million, so you can take only one project. So in that case, you will take the best out of it. Fine. Is that okay? Then if the 2 projects are mutually exclusive, that means both the projects are going to serve the same purpose. So the one which is the best you are going to choose. Fine. But if you had, 120 million, you can do both if both are giving you an NPV positive. And the third, in the C case, if you have enough money with you, you can take both the projects, provided both are generating good return. But in the fourth case, they are mutually exclusive, which means that both the projects are going to serve the same purpose, but you have to choose the best of it. Okay, fine. Suppose both are going to reduce your power consumption. It's a kind of an equipment you're going to buy which is going to reduce the power cost. So then you have to choose only one. Why to choose the second one? Because it will be duplicating. So you're going to choose the best out of it. So this is the question. Okay. So now we go to payback. The first method. Okay. So just look at this thing. The first, I'm just first going to explain, and you can just browse through with on Excel sheet, and then I'll give you a question which you have to do it yourself. Okay. Now this is the cost 60/60. Okay, I'll just punch the number 60/60 in both the projects. The cost is 60/60. Is that okay? Then what I have done is in the 0th year, when you start the project, you're going to spend 60, so it's minus 60. Then you're going to get 15, 20, sorry. Actually, I have come to the end. So you have to start from here. Okay. So please look here. Okay. So this is what is the payback period of each project. So where I started was the end of the sheet. So you project cost A is 60, B is 60. Is that okay? Then year-wise cash flows are given to you in this thing. What we then do is that we just accumulate it. So 15 received the first year. Don't take the first year initial outflow. 60 million you spent. First year you got 15. Second year in totality you got 35. In the third year you got cumulative 70. Fourth year you got 130. Similarly, here also 40, 40, 24, 64, 19, 83, 15, 98. So you have just added all the numbers. Okay. Now just look at what was your cost 60. Okay. So that means in the third year you are actually getting 70 cumulative, which is more than the 60. So that means your answer should be 2 years plus some months. Is that okay? So you put the number 2. Okay. So I just after second year. So in the third year you will be breaking. You will be getting all the money. So 2. Then look at this number. I'm just going to put a form. Just go to formulas and trace this thing. So this is basically 60 minus 35. 60 minus 35. What's the number? 20. So this is the amount which is left now. Okay. So if you get 35 plus 25, you get the whole of the amount 60. So this is the difference. 60 minus the cash cumulative cash flow you have got up to the second year is 35. So you have to cover another 25, isn't it? आपने 60 आपको मिल गया है, आपको अब जो है 25 और चाहिए. Okay. Now what you do is you divide this 25 formula. So basically what you do is you have C12, which is your this number C12, which is the number. Okay. So here what you do is that this is 35. I'll just remove the arrows first. So I just put the arrow here and trace this thing. So which is basically the 35 minus 25. Okay. C12. Okay. C12. C12 is basically 25 divided by 35 plus 2. Okay. 2.71. I'm just going to repeat that. So that means it is going to take 2.71 years, which means 25 lakhs this, okay, divided by 35. So 35 lakhs in a full year, okay. So your numerator is 25, denominator is 35. So 25 lakhs you require, okay, in the full year, but you are getting 35. Assume that you are going to get this 35 lakhs evenly in the year. So it will take 2.71 years to get the payback. Is that okay? Have you followed that? Is it clear? I'm just explaining again. What we have done is basically that your total amount cost was 60 and you covered almost 35 up to this stage. Okay. So you're left with 25 plus 35 would have made the total cost. So now you require 25 lakhs. But in the third year you're getting 35 lakhs. So 25 divided by 35, so it comes to 0.71. So that means the total number of years to get your money full back is 2.7. Okay. Now you can multiply 0.75 by 365 days, so you get the number of days or number of months. So it is 2.7 is the payback period. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear? Any doubt here? Now the second project is taking 1.83. Anji? It is C12, which is C12, 25 divided by B10. Okay. So 25 divided by 35 plus B12. That is this B12. Okay. ये B12 तो ये दो this divided by this प्लस कर दिया तो 2.7 आ गया. हाँ तो हमने क्या करा ये 25 कैसे आया आपका 25 ऐसे आया 25 कैसे आया आपका 60 माइनस 35 आपको पहले 2 साल आपको 15 और 35 मिल गया बचा कितना 25 बचा ना 60 माइनस 35 तो 60 माइनस 35 25 यहाँ करो फॉर्मूला में कराओगे तो थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है otherwise you just understand it out getting involved in the formulas it is 60 minus 35 you get 25 okay so basically हाँ cover the entire money. In how much period? Okay, just listen to me. What he is saying is absolutely right, and I should say that your total amount spent was 60 lakhs. So you want to know after how many number of months or days or years you are going to recover entire 60 lakhs. So since you have already recovered 15 and 35, up to 35 आपको आ गया. पहले साल में 15 मिला फिर 20 मिला, so you have got 35. Okay, so you are remaining with 25. 60 minus 35, which is this 25. So assuming 25 you have got on the whole year. Okay, so but you are going to get in third year 35 lakhs. So 25 lakh divided by 35, which comes to 0.71. Add 2 to it, so it means 2 years and 0.71 year. Okay, so you can multiply it by 12 and you can understand how many months or days. You can always calculate that. Okay, fine. Okay, so and the second project is going to take how much time? 1.8. By the same logic, 1.8. What it was 40 you recover in the first year, then second you are getting 64. So that means you are getting after 1 year itself plus some months you are going to recover entire. So you are getting 24. So which means only 20 is remaining here. 60 minus 40, only 20 is remaining. 20 divided by 24, it comes to 0.83. So which means that your total. So which project is better, A or B? B is better because you are getting money faster. It is your payback period is 1.83. 2 क्यों लिखा है? 2 is in the year in which आपको 2 साल में it is 2 years plus months, some months. हाँ 2 इसलिए कर दिया कि आपको 2 साल में तो आ ही गया पैसा, तो थर्ड ईयर के अंदर अगर हम 3 लिखते तो 3 प्लस आ जाता. इट्स अ फॉर्मूला ओनली. ओके, फाइंड इट. इज इट ओके? गॉट इट? ओके. हाँ, that means this project is going to you are going to recover all the money is 2.71. किसमें इसमें? हाँ, इसमें क्या 1 plus 0.83. इसमें देखो पहले नहीं 40 आ गया था, सेकंड में यू आर गेटिंग 64. So फर्स्ट ईयर में 15 आया, सेकंड ईयर में 20 आया. 35 आया तो थर्ड ईयर में ही होगा, सेकंड ईयर में आएगा. No, I will tell you long back before 15 years back. So I know a lot of projects. That time always in the company always short. Money is not abundantly available. Okay, so a lot of people used to come up with ideas. This is a very good power scaling machine, we should install it. And we are having 5 plants all over India, and some plant even in Dubai. So there are a lot of people who are suggesting some ideas that we should buy a new machine like this. It will improve the performance of the machine or something. A lot of ideas were coming. Okay, and from finance also we used to say that we should buy this software which is going to help us to generate reports faster and more accurate. So everybody used to come up with a lot of ideas. So if we just add up, the money was coming to 5,000 crores. If we implement all the ideas, we have to spend 5,000 crores, and we could never spend that money at that time. So our managing director, everybody was getting, and there was no response which was coming from our head office or from our heads. We are saying that we are already, floating an idea. So because they asked us that, we have to reduce our cost, we have to implement and improve our profitability, we have to become, cost competitive, and, we were supposed to become the world leaders, the lowest cost producer in the world. So that was our aim. Okay. So they asked us to generate some ideas. Okay, just hold on. So we all gave ideas, and after that there was no communication from the top. 3 minutes बीत गए, there was no communication. So we were writing, what happened? We have suggested some mechanism through which we can improve our profitability or reduce our cost. So what are you doing, I mean? And we have to become the lowest cost producer in the world. So then the managing director said, okay, we have got now, we are just, pulling all the ideas, and we came to know that it was worth 5,000 crores, and we can't implement everything. We don't have that much money. So he said, okay, I'm giving you a general direction that any project where the payback period is either 2 years or less than 2 years, we are going to only implement it. Rest, we are going to reject. Any project which is going to, have a payback period of 2 years or less than 2 years, we are going to implement only that. So that was a kind of a one-liner message we got from our CEO that we are going to implement only those projects, because he said that a lot of optimism gets built up. Where individual or some group of individuals in the company, they come up with the ideas and they say this is a very good, fantastic project, and they always are very optimistic about their projects. So he says that all that will get covered if the payback period is less than 2 years. They will only implement that. So that was the way, and then we found that only those projects which are having a payback period of less than 2 years was only 500 crores. Okay, so we could say, okay, these are the projects which are, even if there is a lot of optimism, so these will be the best projects we can select. So that was the time when he came up with it. So payback period, though it is hardly being used today, okay, but there are other methods. So it's just a rough method, okay? Fine. Is that clear? You wanted to ask a question. Investment that we are doing. After that, there is some cash flow. Yeah. This cash flow is including the material cost. सर जी ऐसा है, अभी आप रुक जाइए, अभी कर रहे हैं, अभी पहुंच रहे हैं अभी. We'll be back in another 1 hour. We'll be touching that. Fine. So basically, this is just to understand the concept. Now, what it will include, raw material, stored and spare, what all we are going to cover that in a very short while right now. Okay, is that okay? So this is called the payback. This is just understanding the methods, the mechanism, how to find out which project is worthwhile or not. Now, nitty-gritty with regard to what he's asking, we are going to just move towards that direction. Okay, fine. Then, what is the discounted payback period? Now, what we do is the discount rate is what? 12%. So what we do is we take 50, we discount by this thing. So 15 divided by 1.12. This is the 12%. So the formula is already put into this thing. So 15 million is equivalent to 13.3 million of today. If I have to calculate the present value of 15, it is 13. 20 million received after 2 years is equivalent to 15.94 as of today. And 35 is 24, 43 is 27. So what we have done, we have discounted those cash flows and calculated what is the present value if we apply 12% rate. Okay, fine. So now we are going to do the same thing. Instead of taking, without discounting, earlier we have done, now we are using discounting. Okay. So now the payback comes to 3.21. Okay. Fine. The payback comes to how much? 3.21. After discounting, we have recalculated that the payback period is 3.21, and for this it is 2.38. Okay. So which one is better? Again, this is going to be better. Earlier also this was better, but this was after using the discount rate. Is that okay? Last time we have used the method, discounting method, so I'm not calculating. Okay. We will be doing in our next questions. So, but already I have put the formulas, so you can just visit the formulas and you can know how we have calculated discount rate. Okay. Should I show you how we have calculated the discount rate? Okay. So here, this is the, just see at the top line, this is the formula. I'm just going to just do it once more. Okay. So what do you do? You go to formulas. Just look at my screen. Go to formulas. Go to present value PV. Okay. So these formulas I have explained last time. Okay. Rate is how much? 12%. And NPR means 1 year. Here the first case is 1 year. Second year you want to choose 2 years. Okay. Then what is the the future value? What we are going to get? How much we are going to get? 15 after 1 year. So put 15 and calculate. So it will give you 13.39. Is that okay? Is that clear? So I'll do for the second now. Just look at for the second, then you'll understand. So second year, you are getting 20 million, but after 2 years. Okay. So what I do is I just go to the formula again. Go to the formula PV, present value. So hey, this formula will help you to calculate the present value. Okay. So the rate is how much? 12%, because that is the cost of capital. Okay. And NPR 2. Okay. And how much is the value? 20. 20 है ना अभी इसमें? Okay. Okay. So I'm just, so you have to put a minus sign here. Okay. Always to get a plus this thing. Okay. Fine. Is it clear? Start, do it for the third year. Okay. I'm just removing this. Do it for your third year yourself. On your Excel, try to do it for the third year. करके देखिए. हाँ ऐसा है, देखो क्यों आता है. हम यहाँ वापस जाएंगे. जस्ट लुक एट दिस थिंग. प्रेजेंट वैल्यू. ओके. रेट इज हाउ मच? 12%. NPI is how much? 3. 3 here. 3. And what is the amount? No, 35. So put minus 35. Okay. And enter. So you'll get the positive. So instead of putting a positive, put a negative, you'll get a positive value out. Okay. आप हमेशा नेगेटिव वैल्यू डालेंगे तो पॉजिटिव थ्रो करेगा. अगर पॉजिटिव डालोगे तो नेगेटिव थ्रो करेगा. ओके. इज दैट ओके? सो दिस इज द डिस्काउंटेड. सो इसको डिस्काउंट कर लिया आपने. अब आपने वही चीज यूज करनी है यहां पर और वो नंबर ऑफ ईयर्स निकाल लेने हैं. इज दैट ओके? फाइन. देन if the two projects are independent and the cost of capital is 12%, which project should the firm invest in? Okay. Now, so you are going to spend 60 lakhs. Okay. Fine. And this is the money which you are going to get. Okay. So you have already discounted them at 12%. You discounted cash flows जो आपने ऊपर से ले लिए 12% के. Just add them up. So how much you get? 81. If you just add them up, cumulative is 81. Okay. So that means you are actually spending 60. You are getting 81. So how much positive you are getting? 21 point. This is NPV. This is net present value. You are getting 21.58. Okay. So there is another method. I'll just show you here. यहाँ रखिए अपना कर्सर. यहाँ कर्सर नीचे रख लीजिए. Okay. कहीं पर भी. Okay. And choose the formula NPV. ये फॉर्मूला चुन लीजिए आप. ओके. और अब रेट कितना लेना है आपको? 12%. ओके. एंड आपके पास वैल्यूज है. ओके. वैल्यूज में आपको लेनी है सॉरी जस्ट होल्ड ऑन. हाँ एनपीवी 12%. हाँ ठीक है. ओके. सो आप फॉर्मूलाज में गए. नेट प्रेजेंट वैल्यू and rate is how much? 12%. And the values are basically all these values from 15 to 35. So just shift and select everything. Okay, fine, and enter. You get 81, which is nothing but which you're getting here. 81, 81. Okay. So one by one, you can do it for the entire page. Okay. Now this minus 60 is 21.5. Now look at the two. Look at the both project A and B. Which is better? 21.58 और 7.99, कौन सी बेटर है? 21. Okay. Now A is better. Okay, but in a payback period method, what we are getting? Which was better? You are getting B was better. But when we look at the second method, which is the net present value, we found that A was better. Why? Why so? ऐसा क्यों हुआ कि payback में तो आपको बताया B करो and NPV is saying do the first one, because here all the in payback period we only consider the cash flows till the time it recovers all the costs. But in the net present value, we consider all the cash flows. But look at the cash flows. The cash flows in project A is 15, 20, 35, 40, and this is then the cash flows are decreasing here. The cash flows are increasing here. Okay, so you're getting overall your cash flows are how much? 77.9. Here you're getting 81. So when you consider all the cash flows for the entire life of the project, you find A is better. Is that okay? Whereas the payback is telling you the project B is better, but the net present value, which is a far better method, is telling you that you should do project A and not project B. And you got it? You know that? Because the payback period has a deficiency. It considers only the cash flows for up to that period where it pays back your entire cost. It ignores whatever cash flows you are going to get after for the full life of the project. So to understand the project better, we must consider all the cash flows, not only limit ourselves to the, as payback is telling you to calculate the cash flows only up to the point it is generating all the costs of the project. Okay, fine. So that is method. Now, so this is called the net present value method. Now we come to, if two projects are mutually exclusive and the cost of capital is 10%, then which project is better. So here also you get project A as better. Okay, just try to calculate these numbers yourself and see whether they are you're getting the numbers. Okay, up to the NPV, just calculate up to the NPV. You're getting 25 here, 20.72 here. Okay, so according to this, this project should be done and this should be left, because the projects are mutually exclusive, because they are serving the same purpose. So you have to do only one. So in this case, you're going to do here. But on the second method which you have done, the third part of it, you can do both, because both are NPV positive. If you have enough money, do both. But if you have only limited up to 60 million, then you have to do project A and not project B in the third form of this thing, part of the question. Here you have to do only one. Here you have no choice. आपके दोनों प्रोजेक्ट म्यूचुअली एक्सक्लूसिव हैं, आप दोनों तो कर ही नहीं सकते हैं, आपको एक ही करना है, तो आपको कौन सा करना है, ये करना है. बट इससे ऊपर वाले में आपके दोनों प्रोजेक्ट एनपीवी पॉजिटिव हैं, एनपीवी पॉजिटिव. अगर आपके पास पैसा है तो दोनों करो, बिकॉज बोथ आर जनरेटिंग रिटर्न फॉर यू, एनफ रिटर्न. अगर अब पैसा कम है तो फिर कहां जाएगा, आपका ये वाले में जाएगा. बस यही है. इज दैट ओके? फाइन. अब आता है दूसरा मेथड, अब आता है आईआरआर, internal rate of return. We can even calculate. So now please focus here, whoever missing last time, this is very important. IRR क्या करते हैं हम? I just put my cursor here, okay, blank पे यहाँ रख दिया. So just do what I'm doing. Go to the formulas and go to financial formulas and pick up IRR. IRR ये formula pick कर लीजिए. Okay, fine. And choose everything right from this without discounting. इस यहां से लेके यहां तक पकड़ लीजिए आप और एंटर कर दीजिए. हाउ मच यू गेट? 25. सो दिस प्रोजेक्ट एक्चुअली क्या था, इसमें एनपीवी पॉजिटिव आ गया था और आपने कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल कितनी थी, 12%. तो जिसका मतलब ये ज्यादा रिटर्न दे रहा है, 12 से ज्यादा दे रहा है, इसका मतलब है ना, प्रॉफिट दे रहा है आपको. ये आपको दे रहा है 25% रिटर्न. व्हाट रिटर्न दिस प्रोजेक्ट इज गिविंग? एक्चुअल रिटर्न इज 25% ऑफ दिस प्रोजेक्ट. इट इज आईआरआर टेल्स यू what return you are getting from the complete project. आपकी रिटर्न कितनी है? 25 है और आपकी कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल कितनी है? 12 है या 10 था इसके अंदर. इस केस में 10 थी. तो ये प्रोजेक्ट आपको करना चाहिए. अगर आपकी कॉस्ट 10% है और आपकी रिटर्न 25 आ रही है तो गो अहेड एंड डू इट. इज इट फाइन? और सेकंड वाले में क्या है? सेकंड वाले में आपकी रिटर्न कितनी आ रही है? 29. हाँ, अब क्या हुआ इधर? अब इसमें क्या था, एनपीवी पॉजिटिव यहां ज्यादा है और यहां आईआरआर ज्यादा है. अब मिसमैच आ गया इसमें. इसमें मिसमैच क्या है? आपकी जो 40 आए थी, यहाँ हैवी हाफ 40 ऊपर, डबल दे रहा है और ये इस पर ग्रो करने बाद में, तो ये आईआरआर ज्यादा दे रहा है लेकिन एनपीवी कम दे रहा है ना? तो बट ऐसे नौकरी बहुत कम आती है। तो अब अगर ऐसा हो जाए तो कौन सा मेथड बेटर है और कौन सा इम्प्लीमेंट करना चाहिए? एनपीवी इज अ बेटर मैकेनिज्म. First of all, you must understand if you get a conflict between NPV and IRR, then NPV overrules the IRR. Why it overrules? Why it overrules? Any idea? Last time I have told you. What is the deficiency in IRR? IRR assumes that whatever cash you are generating every year, that is getting redeployed at this rate, at IRR rate. जो पैसा आपको हर साल मिल रहा है वो रीडिप्लॉय हो रहा है इसी रेट पे ही, IRR रेट पे. दिस इज द लकूने ऑफ दिस मेथड, that whatever cash the company is generated from this project, that is generating the similar return to the company. But हो सकता है कंपनी के पास ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट ही ना हो जो इसको 29% रिटर्न दे, isn't it? So that is the lacuna of the IRR. तो इसलिए because of the lacuna, the IRR has to be ignored and NPV has to be considered as the better mechanism. Okay? But उसको उसका तोड़ है, उसकी एक और अच्छी मेथड है, वो उसको बोलते हैं MIRR, मॉडिफाई इंटरनल रेट ऑफ रिटर्न, विच इज कमिंग ऑन द लास्ट. तो हमने जब मॉडिफाइड इंटरनल रेट ऑफ निकाला रिटर्न, अभी निकालते हैं हम, तो कौन सा बेटर है? प्रोजेक्ट ए और बी. ए वो 20% दे रहा है और ये 18 दे रहा है. सो MIR manages that lacuna and tells you the real story behind. Okay, so MIR is a better mechanism than the IRR. Okay, which actually उसकी जो deficiency है उसको साफ वो कर देता है, दूर कर देता है. Okay, so MIR is a better mechanism. Now what is MIR? Fine, so हम MIR करते हैं. So I put my cursor here. Okay, MIR. Okay, then I go to formulas and pick up MIR here. MIR. तो MIR पकड़ लो आप. MIR ये आ गया. MIR आ गया. तो यहां पर क्या करना है आपको ये वैल्यूज वही पकड़ लेनी है, 60 से लेके 43 तक पकड़ ली. यहां पर आपको जो रेट है, ये रेट है, यहां पर कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल डालनी है. कितनी है कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल? 12, हाँ 10%, सॉरी 10%. और री इन्वेस्टमेंट रेट पे भी 10% डालना है. मैं बताता हूं क्या है. दोनों में आपको जो आपकी कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल है वो डाल देनी है. ओके, अच्छा रिकॉर्डिंग चल रही है आपकी? पहले की रिकॉर्डिंग हुई थी क्या? कोई बात नहीं, मैंने रिकॉर्डिंग करी हुई है, मेरी पे रिकॉर्डिंग हो रही है. आई शेयर द रिकॉर्डिंग. चल रही है. देखो, आई एम ऑल्सो रिकॉर्डिंग द लेक्चर. ओके, आई विल शेयर यू द रिकॉर्डिंग, माई रिकॉर्डिंग ऑल्सो. ओके, इसको थोड़ा सा मैं एडिट करके जहां जहां हमने कुछ जहां पढ़े नहीं है, कुछ ऐसी ऐसी बातें करी और आप लोगों को मैंने बताया कि आप लेट आए हो, वो सब निकाल दूंगा मैं. ओके, सो अब मैं इसको अगर एंटर करता हूं तो ये इसको पहले मैं नीचे कर दूं, तो अब ये आ जाता है 20.3%. ओके, आई कैन जस्ट मेक इट टू होम. ओके, सो इट गेट 20%. तो MIR का क्या मतलब है? MIR मीन्स व्हाट? MIR says that whatever returns you are getting each year, that is getting redeployed at cost of capital. जो आपकी cost of capital है, because the cost of capital is what? The cost of capital is that what you should at least get it. अगर वो नहीं मिलेगी तो फिर आप प्रोजेक्ट में पैसा लगाएंगे नहीं, वो तो आपकी कॉस्ट है. तो जो आपका पैसा जनरेट हो रहा है, एटलीस्ट वो कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल तो जनरेट करे. आप कोई दूसरे प्रोजेक्ट में पैसा लगाएंगे तो उसमें लगाएंगे जिसमें कि आपकी कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल जो है एटलीस्ट वो मीट आउट हो. तो हमने ये प्रिज्यूम करा MIR इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन, द टू थिंग्स, वेयर वी आर सेइंग that the money which is getting every year is getting redeployed at the cost of capital. ओके, फॉर एग्जाम्पल अभी देखते हैं इसको, हमने वापस रखते हैं यहाँ MIR पे, यहाँ पर, ओके, एंड गो बैक टू द फॉर्मूला एंड गो टू MIR, ओके, एंड चूज द एंटायर वैल्यू अगेन, ओके, सारी वैल्यू वापस ले ली हमने, ओके. नाउ सपोज वी से द फाइनेंस रेट इज 12%, ओके. Reinvestment rate जो है, suppose I am not going to deploy this money, I am going to put the money in a fixed deposit, okay. Suppose I am going to get 7%. So then what will be the return of the project? 19%. अब क्या आ गया? 19%. So here what we have assumed that company doesn't have any project. जो पैसा आया वो कहाँ लगाया? उसको बैंक में डाल दिया और फिक्स डिपॉजिट में रख दिया, उसमें 7% मिल रहा है. So then the return goes down to 19%. But this will not assume for our analysis. We'll assume the money will get redeployed at cost of capital. The MIRR assumes that you should always assume the cost of capital at which it will get redeployed, because otherwise you don't have any project. There can be a situation, okay, fine. अगर ऐसी situation है to consider the FD rate as a redeployment rate, okay. But normally to compare the two projects, you should always calculate by the cost of capital. Is that okay? So now it is telling you that if you look at both the projects, then that this project is better. Is that okay? Is it clear? Okay. एक सेकंड